Yo, check it, got that new fire straight from the underground. What you need? This that real hip hop.
All right, people, we got us a video today, man. It's a what if Titan boa snake didn't go extinct? I have no idea what a Titan boa is, but I know what a snake is. And I already don't like the ones we do have, so they're saying that there was one worse than the ones we have now. All right, I'm game. Let's check it out.
Can you immediately name the largest snake in the world? I'll give you a hint. This is the name of a very famous horror movie. Did you guess? Right, it's the Anaconda. If we pair it with the largest crocodile, Cassius, weighing almost 1 ton,
Anaconda was
you
great.
can write a script for a new horror film. But these giants are just babies compared to those that once lived
Snake and
on
a
Earth for
crocodile.
a long time. Take, for example, Kronosaurus and Titanoboa. Once, these two predators
Titanoboa. I
were a
was saying
threat
that
to
wrong.
all life, both on land and in water. But what would happen if they still lived today? Could humanity survive, or would it be the end of us? Now, I'll tell you about the ancient monsters that terrorized everything in their path. You'll learn when and where these monsters lived, and then we'll bring them to the present. You'll see whether these giants will capture our world, and if people will be able to put up a fight. Something tells me that today it's going to be very hot. Before turning on the time machine, let's get to know our characters better. We'll start with Titanoboa. This ancient snake lived about 58 million years ago, and according to scientists, for at least 10 million years, it was the largest predator on the planet. Its length reached 13 meters, or 43 feet, and its weight exceeded a ton. Can you imagine this giant? Here's an illustration for you. If you laid 2 giraffes on the ground, then Titanoboa will still be longer. Or you can just look at these 2 vertebrae. The model on the left belongs to the Anaconda, and on the right, Titanoboa. It turns out that the largest snake living today is half the size of the ancient reptile.
Okay. The largest snake living today is half the size of what that thing used to be. All animals and things used to be bigger. No, not cool, bro. Titanoboa? Look here. Hey, look here. It's, it's not it's not a pleasant thought.
In width, the mega snake could reach 1 meter, or 3 feet. It could easily swallow a young hippopotamus. True, in ancient times, there were no hippos. Titanoboa preferred to eat fish, and this monster could be found in dark swamps and rivers. In addition to fish, it could feast on crocodiles. It was a sophisticated killer. The giant monster attacked its victim and strangled it in its strong embrace. Then the snake swallowed it whole and digested it for a long time. The victim suffered a compression force comparable to 1.5 times the weight of the Brooklyn Bridge. So, put in numbers. That's 28 kilograms per square centimeter, 400 pounds per square inch. Even though the Kronosaurus was smaller in size, it was also a very bloodthirsty predator. Its wide-open mouth, full of many small teeth, speaks for itself. And the size of the predator is comparable to the dimensions of an orca, also called a killer whale. To be more precise, the Kronosaurus reached a length of more than 10 meters, or 33 feet, and its weight could reach up to 12 tons. In its appearance, it was remotely similar to a modern crocodile, only in a very enlarged version. And even their bite strength is a close comparison. It was also a skilled swimmer that probably attacked its prey from the depths. Kronosaurus had a very powerful rib cage, 4 flippers, and a small tail. It literally gnawed at its victim, leaving no chance for survival. Kronosaurus couldn't have encountered Titanoboa. They lived in different periods.
Bro, as a kid growing up, as a kid growing up, bro, I used to be real into dinosaurs. I don't think I've even heard of a Titanoboa. Thought it was like one of those what if type situations. Like it wasn't a real thing. People were just saying what if. This outrageous. They found a backbone.
And even
Let's
perhaps
continue this,
loved a
man.
different habitat. Kronosaurus could live in fairly cold southern seas, but Titanoboa loved a hot climate. But this didn't stop the two predators from instilling fear and terror into all living creatures in the area.
I'm scared right now.
Now, let's imagine that these two
Right
monsters didn't die out and that they still peacefully coexist with us. Although, would it be peaceful? This is a big question. If Titanoboa survived to this day, it could well be found in the equatorial tropics. For example, Titanoboa
That
would
would make
love
sense.
the hot climate of Colombia or neighboring countries like Venezuela, Brazil, Ecuador,
South
Peru,
America,
or
basically.
Panama. Obviously, people would have to more carefully protect their homes from the intrusion of Titanoboa.
can't-
However, it
You cannot protect your home against something that big. You cannot protect your home unless your house is made out of like concrete and steel.
It's unlikely that the snake could crawl unnoticed into a house. It would have no trouble knocking out a window or even breaking a door. Fortunately, this behavior
1
is
ton?
still unusual for snakes. But all the same, in order to protect themselves from intruders, people would have to surround their homes with high voltage fences and keep a big stun gun under the pillow, just in case. In noisy megacities, a
shock.
huge snake would not have a single chance of survival, only if the snake doesn't accidentally wind up somewhere under the heating main, a comfort that a reptile might appreciate. But food in the form of rats would hardly suit it. By the way, most likely she wouldn't be interested in people as a food source. In horror
believe that.
films, the anaconda often devours people. However, in reality, it rarely attacks a person. It can be assumed that its distant ancestor would also be indifferent to us. But for people, Titanoboa could be a welcome trophy. Any zoo in the world would dream of getting such a valuable specimen. And its
People are
skin would
crazy.
be a real hunt. People who catch these huge snakes would become real national heroes. As for the super snake diet, in our world it would find something to eat. Alligators, turtles, river dolphins would suit the giant in all respects. And
Why is it like specifically a river dolphin? Like, oh, because they're probably in South America and that's where those river dolphins reside. I thought there was some in Florida too, maybe. No?
animals on land would also have a hard time. Giant armadillos, manatees, tapirs, cougars, jaguars, caimans, and Brazilian otters would be endangered. Sure, adults would be too big, so cubs and young animals are what they need. Titanoboa wouldn't mind eating fish, since it's a more familiar diet. As a result, the food chain would be broken. Some animals would probably migrate to safer areas, but the fauna of the forests of Amazonia would be greatly impoverished. Although insects and fungi would start to flourish and evolve, very soon there'd be no trace of the once lush vegetation.
Wouldn't but wouldn't a 1 ton snake, roughly 50 feet long, crawling and dragging through the Amazon, wouldn't that create more riverways? Like in my mind, I just see that like carving out places for water to travel. No, maybe I could be way wrong.
Brontosaurus would hardly have liked life in our condition either. In ancient times, even turtles were the size of a kitchen table. Eat just one and
No, they still
feel
have
full
turtles that
all
big, though.
day. But such a monster would need about a dozen modern turtles. And then I still doubt it would be enough to eat. In addition to turtles, the ancient monster fed on Plesiosauria, But in
Now
our
that I
world,
remember.
he'd have to look
I
for an
remember
alternative.
plesiosaurs.
Most likely, it would switch to large marine mammals. It wouldn't be able to swallow a whale all at once, but in parts, then sure, it could eat it completely. Such a huge body would need tons of food. Like a giant meat grinder, it would sweep away everything in its path. People would suffer greatly due to a shortage of fish in the seas and oceans. Fishing itself would be very risky due to the existence of an underwater hazard. Ships would have to be built to be much more solid, and in the event of the extinction of whales, a climatic catastrophe would begin. There would be nothing to extract thousands of tons of carbon from the air. In the underwater depths, there would be a daily battle for life. Given the size of the monster and its ferocious disposition, there could only be one winner. We'd have to forget about tourism and sea traffic in the monster's habitat completely. This place would be marked on all maps in red, and anyone who dared to go there would practically write their own death sentence. If Titanoboa had the most valuable skin, then a Chronosaurus would have had its teeth. Small and sharp like a saw, they could cost more than the horns of a rhino. Today, they're one of the most expensive materials in the world. Their price is about $65,000 per kilogram.
We talking
more
rhino horns?
expensive than gold. By the way, did you know
That's
that there's a
crazy for
danger
a
of the
rhino horn.
return of extinct animals to Earth? I'm not joking right now. Scientists don't rule out the possibility. First of all, I'm talking about Titanoboa. There's speculation that it lived at a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. That's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And given the growth rate of global warming, such average temperatures can become a reality. I'm glad it will take millions of years.
No, it's been 90 degrees for a couple days out here in Georgia.
Would you like to see ancient monsters with your own eyes?
No.
Write in the comments. If you like the
No,
video, be sure to like and share it with
my
your friends.
God.
And I'm already preparing a new exciting issue for you.
Okay. All right. Let me just go ahead and say it. I'll be the first person. I'm not cool with that idea at all. Them coming back, being around? No. No, not at all, bro. I'm not cool with that at all. It's it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought. My dog is only like 200 pounds and he doesn't scare me, but he scares other people. He would be terrified if he saw a snake that big. I'm gonna have to wake him up in a second. Bro, that is crazy. And then like a freaking super deluxe crocodile. People, no, no. Getting on the water is already tricky for me. I would never get my feet in the water unless it's a closed pool. This is can't see it. A great white shark would no longer be the scariest thing in the ocean. No, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. If anything, great white sharks might go extinct because they will be a food source. 100% they will be a food source. Man, listen, we're gonna have to do more of these. But if you're down for it, bro, click the likes on the channel. You know what those buttons are. You know what they do. They definitely help the channel grow, man. Titanoboa, what do you feel about that, man? Let me know in the comments. Till next time, peace.
Perfect.